So the tarmac actually started cracking and getting messed up, which is crazy. I heard it was, melting in the previous video and just kind of news sources, but I didn't know it was actually getting damaged pretty significantly. Hello and welcome back. I hope during this heat wave you are all safe and stayed hopefully, cool enough and not miserable, because yeah, heat and extreme heat kind of sucks. This is a quick video, 3.5 minutes about of the record-shattering heat wave leads to deaths across Britain. Just the heat wave in general, and I heard about it. I heard in the news, across sections of Europe, hit certain areas really hard. And just seeing this image of the Queen's Guard, you have to stay massively hydrated, and wearing those uniforms and the hat, just kind of the whole ensemble, the boots, must be miserable, must be horrible. And this is, kind of something that was a general theme, that all the British were having at this time. If I moved anywhere in the UK, I wouldn't be worrying about like, oh, I should probably have a little air conditioning unit. I'm like, how's this house placed according to the sun? Should we plant some trees to block some sunlight? Stuff like that. How's the insulation? Should we get double paned windows? All that stuff. Because I would never expect it. I mean, you don't expect that, I feel like, obviously, and you're not built for it, because why would you? You're built to keep heat in, because, it gets really, according to me, it gets really cold there, and for quite some time. So I would want a house that could really keep heat in. And this opposite effect would really kind of whiplash that idea. So sorry about that. Hope everyone's fine, but let's jump into this video. I'd really want to see how it affected you and kind of go from there. So let's hear about this.
Today is officially the hottest day ever recorded in this country, with a temperature of 102.3 noted outside of the city of London. And the temperatures are expected to go even higher, north of 105 today. And the heat is already bringing this country to a standstill. The infrastructure simply isn't built to survive these kinds of extreme temperatures. Most people don't have air conditioning. Many schools don't have air conditioning. So some schools have closed today or shortened the hours to protect the kids. The rail system is really having a hard time as well. Many trains are delayed or canceled because the rails could buckle in the heat. They're only rated up to 95 degrees. Problems at airports as well. At Luton Airport, north of London, yesterday, they had to stop flights for several hours because the runway melted. There was heat damage on the runway.
So was anyone affected by the heat in these ways? Because, the infrastructure seemed like it seems generally fine, but it could have, the railroads could have buckled. Yeah, so much heat, they're rated to 95 degrees. It went up 10 degrees higher than that, quite a bit higher. And, I can't believe, the tarmac could melt or just, get, I guess, not good for some massive planes to land on. I could definitely understand that, but that's crazy. I always like to hear from your point of view, like, how was that day? How was the heat? How was everyone? What was the general feel? Because, whenever anything different happens here, in the US or in California, oh, there's an earthquake. Oh, where were you? Oh, what was moving into your house? It's kind of a interesting time to get stories, and I could really learn from your stories of how was it? Maybe it was, it was fine, whatever. You just stayed cool those couple of days, or maybe it was like, yeah, it was pretty awful. It sucked. I didn't know where to go, or my house got this hot, or this happened to my neighbor. And it really helps me understand what's going on there and how you're affected. Those are always good stories to hear.
Same concerns forced the Royal Air Force to stop all flights in and out of their largest base in the UK. And of course, people are suffering as well. You saw that picture of the guard at Buckingham Palace being helped with a drink of water. Buckingham Palace has actually scaled back on the changing of the guard ceremonies during this heat wave. And as bad as it is here, it's actually worse in southern Europe. In Spain, Portugal, France, those fires are still burning out of control. Not only are they battling the fires, but also extreme heat there. And the fires, just to give you an example, one fire in southwest France is now more than half the size of Washington, D.C. and still burning, Craig.
Kelly Kobiea on, again, the hottest day ever in London. Kelly, thank you. Try to stay cool there. Man.
All right, time to bring in Al. We got hot weather here. We got hot weather overseas. Hey,
That's
Al.
right. Okay, so we'll start in
so
Europe.
Here's the map. I mean, that's
where Kelly was.
already.
We're talking about right now, 99 degrees.
That is crazy. Just seeing this map, you wouldn't expect, I don't know, Paris and London and Manchester, even probably Dublin is, 80 degrees. It's probably a really hot day for Dublin, I'm assuming. Amsterdam, Brussels, Hamburg, all those places, and the heat, especially being so up north, for Spain gets really hot. Last time I was there, I was in Barcelona, so even more south, and it was pretty brutal. So I understand that for Spain, but like really anything north of France, I am very surprised about. Very surprised.
In London, of course, all-time record, July 25th, 2019, 102. You can see 95 in Manchester, Amsterdam, 91, 95 in Frankfurt. This is going to be short-lived, at least for parts of the UK and Europe. By Wednesday, it's down to 80 in London, 78 in Paris. Ooh. But look at these temperatures: Marseille and southern France into the mid-90s, Rome still in the mid-90s. So it's going to stay hot there. Closer to home, we're talking almost 90 million people impacted, both in the plains and also here in the Northeast, for heat advisories, heat warnings, and in fact,
So I didn't know that they were going to, I guess, what channel is this today? I guess it's a U.S. channel, but I didn't know we were going to talk about heat here. Anyways, since we're in, Texas and all that, here's the temperatures here. Also super hot here. I'm way over on the left, so, but these are like straight up deserts, just all, look up pictures of, Texas and El Paso and Phoenix. It's just as barren as you could get in a lot of those places. You would expect that here, whereas, you would look up, compared to London's probably, way up here, really cold areas like adjacent. It's probably way up there, like Maine or something like that. All right, since that video was really short, there's one more. Britain bakes, and it's going to get hotter, and it did get hotter, and it did reach that 105, right?
As temperatures soared, the impacts of the heat wave became clear. And when it came to travel, air and rail disruption was widespread. Luton Airport grounded flights after the runway buckled in smouldering temperatures. Here at Lickey Hills in Worcestershire, wildfire engulfed nearly half a square kilometre. It took 4 fire crews to stop the blaze spreading. Wales has already...
So the tarmac actually started cracking and getting messed up, which is crazy. I heard it was, melting in the previous video and just kind of news sources, but I didn't know it was actually getting damaged pretty significantly.
Already reported its highest ever temperature after it hit 37.1 degrees in Flintshire, and it's expected that records will be broken again today across the UK. A 16-year-old boy died after getting into difficulty in Berkshire's Bray Lake. Emergency services are facing an increase in call-outs. London Ambulance Service has already seen a 30% rise in calls since last week. They're braced for even more.
So now that it's been, I believe, 2 weeks since this big heat wave, I think it was the day after, Wednesday, it dropped all the way to, 80 degrees from 105 something, just outrageous there. My brother was just in, he went to Scotland and then he went to Paris right after that, and he said it was around 100 when he was there. So once again, hopefully you all were safe. Hopefully it was bearable and you found places to stay cool and, putting water, towels on the back of your neck, just kind of anything you could do to stay cool. But I would like to hear stories of like how were you affected at all? How was it? Was it all right? Was it horrible? Just any story that you could let me know about will really put me there, which I always appreciate. So thank you for watching. I'm glad it finally cooled down there. And yeah, we'll go on to the next video. See you next time.